if it was in the area under the Fort Northern control, then I have to assume that it was done with the sanction of the commander of the Fort Northern, who was my father. Yeah.
Paddy Hilary sat in my parlour in Brookhill Avenue in Belfast, number 11 Brookhill Avenue in Belfast, in 1970, in September, after the meetings in Dublin, and reiterated to my mother exactly what they were going to do. And that was all done on the word of Frank Aiken. And that was all done on the word of Frank Aiken.
This is Altnavay Orange Hall. It was built in 1884. It's one of the oldest halls in County Down. It's a small Protestant community, just down to a few families now. Would have been a bigger community until the 1920s, and with what happened at that time, a lot of the families left at that time and drifted away over the years. And what we have up at the front here on the right-hand side is a memorial to the 6 Protestants who were massacred here in 1922. And so I find it's very strong in people's memory. Frankly, there's great hesitancy, even coming towards a fearfulness amongst this local small Protestant community here. There's still reticence about talking about these things publicly. Frank Aiken is thought of in this area amongst the Protestant community as someone who instigated, organised and took part in a massacre of a small, isolated, vulnerable Protestant community.
Around 30 IRA men from County Louth crossed the border to attack the community of Altnavay near Newry. 5 men and 1 woman were killed and more than a dozen properties were burnt down or bombed. The killings that became known as the Altnavay Massacre were one of the most controversial and gruesome IRA attacks of its time. Protestant families were left in fear. This was viewed on both sides of the border as an attempt to ethnically cleanse the Protestant population from the border area. According to the Irish state broadcaster RTE, an IRA brigade report from the time has a section entitled Altnavay Shootings, but the details are left blank. Other files simply refer to a special job. 9 men in total are named in the files as having participated. One of the men involved, James Marin, said the unit was under orders to burn every house and shoot every male. Another man whose name has been linked to the killings is Frank Aiken, who was the commander of the IRA's 4th Northern Division, which operated in Armagh, South Down and across the border in County Louth. He was named as being present. Aiken, who died in 1983, was a prominent Fianna Fáil politician who served as minister in various Irish governments. A member of the Irish government who was responsible for some of the most gruesome murders that the British Isles has ever seen. Frank Aiken, a member of Fianna Fáil, the Hidden Hand, who was in place in 1969 as deputy head of the Irish government. The same Irish government who we have learnt over the course of this documentary they gave strategy too. They armed, they trained, and they financed the emerging provisional IRA.
We have in our possession documents from the Department of the Taoiseach, dated January 1965, which set out a blueprint to encourage Irish nationalists in Northern Ireland to engage in effective political action. They should set up a representative political organisation with a club in every town and village. As an immediate field of action, citizens in Northern Ireland who see themselves as Irish and wish to be part of the Republic of Ireland should begin a process of agitating, using housing and employment as the basis of such agitation.
From 1968 going forward, there was momentum building within the nationalist and republican community in Northern Ireland to agitate against the state, to overthrow the state that was Northern Ireland and remove Northern Ireland as part of the United Kingdom. But little did Unionists know there was a hidden hand behind that agitation, a hidden hand that was hidden in plain sight as deputy head of the Irish government. That hidden hand was the hand of Frank Aiken.
They gave them money, they gave them guns to get them started.